Hi everyone, I'm Michael, your Yardy or Dr. Mike, and welcome to Technique Talk, the MYK System, and more. This is episode 29 in our series of comparing and contrasting other techniques with the MYK System. Today, we're going to talk about Upledger CranioSacral Technique. If you want more information on either technique, I have the website links in the description below. If you have not subscribed, be sure and smash that subscribe button. I got a lot more videos coming. Whether you're a patient looking to get help or a practitioner looking for a good technique to learn, this series is what you need. Let's dive in. Who came up with the Upledger technique, and how did they come up with the Upledger technique? So, John Edwin Upledger. He was born in 1932 in Detroit, Michigan. So up where occasionally it snows. So he was an unassuming child who grew up to change the world for healthcare practitioners worldwide. So let's see, starting his career, this is all on the Upledger website right here. So after years of honing his craft, John Upledger opened the St. Petersburg Free Clinic in 1975, where he developed a reputation as a unique and gifted physician. So let's see. The birth of craniosacral, that's what I want. In 1978, Dr. Upledger developed the hypothesis of the craniosacral dura mater and cerebrospinal fluid being integrated into a comprehensive model of the craniosacral system, which he termed the pressure stat model. This hypothesis was developed out of a fresh cadaver dissection and examination of sagittal sutural material containing nervous tissue. The results of the scientific studies at MSU helped explain the function of the craniosacral system and its use in evaluating and treating poorly understood malfunctions in the brain and spinal cord. Dr. Upledger went on to develop the manual therapy he called craniosacral therapy, as well as other complementary disciplines that are now taught worldwide to healthcare professionals through the Upledger Institute educational programs. And to this day, pressure stat model has stood the test of time. So in 1983, he wrote his first book, The Craniosacral Therapy, and went on to author 7 additional books detailing the application of craniosacral therapy and somato-emotional release. Oh, there it is again, that emotional release stuff. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to look in and get one of those emotional release treatments. We're going to find out. I'll be crying on the table. All right. It's been published in numerous languages, all this kind of stuff. So, in 1985, with the help of his son, John Matthew Upledger, and that says 1960 to 2017. So, I guess that means that John has passed away. Dr. Upledger would open the Upledger Institute International in Palm Beach Gardens. In 1990, it had grown, the reputation had grown worldwide, and then it says becoming a legend. In the early 2000s, his reputation preceded him, and Upledger would be the subject of a number of high-profile events, from testifying before Congress on the effectiveness of craniosacral therapy, serving on the Alternative Medicine Program Advisory Council, and being named by Time Magazine as one of America's next wave of innovators. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that about him. All right, so that's pretty cool. So I think he was an osteopath. I'm pretty sure. He was a DO. Let me see. Does it say that? It didn't say that in here. Oh, there it is. No, it did. Way up. After graduating as a doctor of osteopathic medicine, he moved to Florida in 1965. Okay, so he was an osteopath, and then he came up with craniosacral therapy. I've heard a lot about craniosacral therapy, and it's got some good information to it. So let's see if we can get into how does it work. What is craniosacral therapy and how does it work? So it's a gentle, hands-on approach to evaluating and enhancing the craniosacral system, which includes the membranes and cerebrospinal fluid surrounding and protecting the brain and the spinal cord. It aims to release tensions deep in the body to reduce pain, relieve dysfunction, and improve overall health by facilitating the body's natural healing processes. It is increasingly used as a preventative healthcare measure. Okay, I like that. So it is slightly different because he's treating, from my understanding, like the cranium and the sacrum and getting the cerebrospinal fluid moving and all of that. A little bit different philosophy from the myokinesthetic system. The myokinesthetic system, as you know, deals with one nerve root is what we're trying to do. If we're going after an organ, we're going to do a combination of nerve pathways. The next phase that we're going into is the brain and very specific things and how we can assess and fix very specific aspects of the brain. So, but what we're trying to accomplish, I would say, is very similar. We're trying to, get rid of pain, get movement going again, and get health back to the person. We're just going at it from totally different standpoints. So, but like I said, I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm pretty sure John passed away not too terribly long ago. Was it John? Let me look. John Matthew Upledger. And this was John Edwin Upledger. So John Edwin was born in 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 02, 22. Oh, he could still be around. That'd be 80. He'd be 84, 85 right now. Oh, he may still be around. Okay. I don't know. I have to go look and see if he's still around. He may still be around. But it looks like John Matthew, his son, may have passed away. 70, 80, 90, 110. He was about 57 years old. He was young. He was a young guy. Wow, that's sad. Okay. All right. So let's get into this part of it, because Upledger Institute, I believe they have all kinds of classes. I think they actually promote other classes, other instructors to come under their umbrella. That's what I've heard. And then you can go to the Upledger Institute website, and I have the link in the description below. But you can go to that, and I believe you can find courses on more than just craniosacral. I think you can find courses from different people. That's what I'm looking at right now. Quick Course Finder, online programs. So, yeah, workshops. Oh my goodness, yeah, they got them. But this is all craniosacral. Oh, there's looks like VM. Oh no, there's a lot. Okay, so there's quite a few. So I believe that they have a lot of things under their umbrella, and that it's not just craniosacral that you can learn from the Upledger Institute. I got the Upledger Institute and the Baral Institute. So I got both of those together on this one website. I clicked classes and stuff, and then I ended up with the Baral Institute, which I got to do a talk on the Baral Institute as well, and his classes. All right. So we went through how he developed it. Let's get into, I would like to know, like, what do they do exactly? Let's see if it gives me any of that. So it's a gentle hands-on approach. Craniosacral therapy is presented as a method to facilitate the body's natural and innate healing. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner looking to enhance your skills or a practitioner just beginning your career, Upledger Institute welcomes you to explore our educational opportunities. Okay, we got that. It's preventative. We talked about that. Boy, it doesn't say exactly like what you're going to get. I think the treatment times are going to be different, because my understanding is this is going to be like an hour and a half treatment for a craniosacral therapy. If you do there's a lot of people that do craniosacral therapy. So if you do craniosacral therapy and you know that that's not correct, put it in the comments below. I think that these treatments are going to be an hour to an hour and a half long for a craniosacral treatment. And it's mainly, the craniosacral part is mainly focused on getting that cerebral spinal fluid moving again. Whereas from the myokinesthetic system, we're trying to get more of a postural balance, which is going to balance the nervous system, which is then going to allow the body to function the way it's supposed to function. We're going to do it in like 15 minutes or less. And so there's a little bit different from that approach. So the time approach, and we say it's easy. They say it's gentle movements and gentle things. You can go gentle with this. You can go very light. You can go very deep with the myokinesthetic. You can go quick. You can go slow. So it's really up to you how you want to do the treatment. So craniosacral therapy is hands-on approach evaluating and enhancing the craniosacral system, which is comprised of the membranes of the cerebral spinal fluid surrounding and protect the brain and the spinal cord. Dedicated to creating a healthier world from our hands to yours. I like that. The integrative trainings foster the critical thinking skills necessary to make evidence-informed clinical decisions in order to help facilitate the best possible client outcomes. Some similarities. We both do hands-on. Hey, that's a similarity. We're both putting our hands on. Yeah, so there's a similarity. It's a manual technique. We both offer continuing education to different healthcare providers. The healthcare providers that we offer are down in the in the notes below. We aim to alleviate pain and improve mobility. And they say that they have research as well. So we both have research and positive testimonial. Who's going to have a negative testimonial? Come on. You're not going to put a negative testimonial on your website. That's like when I go to class and I go, hey, here's something that happened one time. And people are like, does it ever not work? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not going to tell you those stories. Those aren't fun to hear in a class that you're paying for. I'm going to tell you the stories where it worked, So I will say this. I'm always the first person to say with the myokinesthetic system, we never say that this is going to work 100% of the time. There's a lot of instructors out there that say, oh, if you learn this technique, you can cure the world. There's nothing that cures everything. Nothing. There are people that absolutely have to have surgery. There are people that absolutely have to take that medication. So there are people that have to get that bone moved, that muscle relaxed, that muscle strengthened. There's a reason that we have all the different techniques and all the different professions. And so anybody that says, if you just learn this technique well enough, you can cure the world, run. There is nothing that is an end-all, cure-all. Nothing. And so I'm always the first to say, hey, with this technique, with the myokinesthetic system, it's not going to work on everybody. But I will say, when it works, man, it works fast. So that's the cool thing about it. All right. Let's look at some differences now between the myokinesthetic system and craniosacral therapy. So we deal with muscle manipulations to influence the nervous system in a very specific way. And it says craniosacral therapy focuses on the craniosacral system and facilitating self-healing. Well, that didn't tell me much. That wasn't as good as I thought. So it says the MYK system emphasizes rapid results on a holistic nature, and Upledger focuses more on the gentle approach. So the MYK system is very specific in what we're trying to fix. So if you come in with plantar fasciitis or frozen shoulder or a headache, you're going to get different treatments. Those are all different treatments for those conditions because it's different nerve pathways going into those parts of the body. And that's what we're trying to influence, is change the nerve system pathways, not the pathways, but the signals going up and down. And you get a change in the posture and you get a change in the symptoms. And the pain goes down and the range of motion goes up. So ours is very, very specific with what we're trying to do, what we're treating, all of that. And it says craniosacral just takes a broader approach for that. And we have, it says marketing. So the MYK marketing is more direct and results oriented, and Upledger's is more of fostering a community. Okay, maybe I should foster a community in my advertising. So both the myokinesthetic system and Upledger offer continuing education courses designed to enhance the skills of healthcare professionals. I will agree with that. Both emphasize hands-on techniques. I agree with that. They differ in how they're going to do that and how they're going to target, or what systems they target. That's going to be a little bit different because we're going after the nervous system. He's going after craniosacral. Our time difference is going to be different. We're 15 minutes or less. I'm almost positive they're going to be an hour to an hour and a half for a treatment. I don't know what, I do know their classes are usually a little more expensive, and I didn't quite get on that page. I didn't go that deep into that page for that. There was something I read on there where he goes, I don't, let me see if it's on this page. He goes, I've gone from being a hardline scientist who required proof to believing that what I see or experience is true, even though I may not know how it happens. I've become a clinical outcome person who would rather observe and accept what I see than reject an observation, experience, or practice because it has not yet been scientifically proven. If it is a very low risk and totally risk-free and it seems reasonable, I will try it. After all, if we can't use something until we understand it, then we shouldn't be using gravity. I thought that was a great quote. So that was from John. That was John Upledger's quote there. I thought that was pretty good. So, all right. So there's a little bit of a difference from craniosacral and the myokinesthetic system. So the big difference is the time. I think the time and the treatment itself, as far as what we're focusing on from getting there. But I've heard phenomenal things about the Upledger Institute. I'm going to have to look and see if John's still around. I thought he had passed, but maybe what I heard was it was his son. So I'll have to look that up. If you know, put it in the comments below to help me out there. So if you made it this far, smile.